Yes, yeah, you were just asking me just a second ago, what is the, where you see the difference and the blend between physical fitness and spiritual fitness. So is there a difference? If there is a difference, kind of, is there, how do we blend it? Um, as I see it, it's like, it's the same as like body mind. How everybody always says, mind and body is one. Putting everything together. That's where I look at the physical fitness, where we're actually physical, and it could be anything. And mostly, I like to tell people and let people know that it's something that you enjoy, something physical that you enjoy. It could be walking, it could be jump roping, whatever it is. But it's that physical aspect. And so working out the body, get the blood pumping, getting the muscles moving, cardiovascular, your muscular system, you get your whole physical system working and building, okay? That's more the physical fitness. The other aspect, that's spiritual fitness. I see spiritual fitness big time as when we're talking not with just the physical brain, but the spirituality is that nothingness, the void. People call it God or Buddha or Muhammad, whatever it is. It's something that's you can't see. I don't like to say anymore you can't feel it, because you can't. You can't see it. It's people call it faith or trust. Okay, so building that is through meditation, going within, silencing the mind. Also, it's another part of the spiritual fitness is not only silence the mind, understanding your own mind. What's going on in here? Who am I talking to? Who's talking to me? Okay, to me, that's spiritual fitness. I'm out to find out what's going on in here that connects me with everything. Okay, so that's more on the spiritual aspect. And I feel that they both link. They're both one. Okay, they're one, just like we continue to say that we're all one. What connects me and you? It's the spiritual aspect. This is physical, you're physical, I'm physical, but there's something that connects us. There's something that brought me and you together.
Energy.
Why? Exactly. It's the energy.
A good point I caught from what you're just saying is that a part of spiritual fitness is making it fun.
Yeah.
Like when you're working on merging how physically and spiritually strong you are, if you're not having fun, then your spirit's like, what are you doing? Like your spirit is lacking, and then your physical you might get more intense physical, but like you have to kind of find that balance of fun and fitness, like physical and spiritual. Like that's the total difference between if you're training for, say, like a high school or collegiate sport. If you have that one coach that's do this, do that, everyone's having a shitty time, like you go home and you're tired, I just want to go to sleep, and that's because like your spirit, like your energy is down. But like, for example, like training with you go out in the ocean and you're paddling, or you're doing push-ups on the beach, or just doing running through nature is like completely different, and it's like it energizes you, and you find yourself like, instead of being on the 50th push-up and being, this sucks, I can't stand my trainer, it's like, alright, yeah, like let's push through this and let's get this going, because you're like merging those two physical and spiritual strengths. And that's like, sometimes you see people that are like big huge people, big, physically strong, got the traps up to their
no
ear,
neck.
the no neck, and then they're like, their spirit's not that strong though. Like, for example, I had an experience that was really eye-opening to me, is that I had a bodyguard that I had worked with at a previous bar and grill I was working at. He would come in and do security for the nighttime because it got a little crazy. And this dude is like 350 pounds, big, fat, strong, like deadlifts, bench presses, ridiculous amounts. And the energy I kept getting from is this dude is scared of me. Like, why is this dude scared of me? And then through meditation, I'm like understanding that, oh, he's scared of me because my spirit is stronger than his spirit, and he doesn't understand how he's so much bigger than me physically, but his spirit is not bigger than me physically. So one day I'm sitting at the bar with him and the bartender, and he's like talking to the bartender, oh my god, this dude, I'm so scared of this dude, I don't know why. And it's just like, I looked up, I'm like, yep, spirit's been guiding me on the right track. So that was the big thing when I started training with you. That's what I started feeling the spirit like merging and clicking into place like a puzzle with like my physical strength, and I feel stronger than I have in a long time.
That's one thing when you do this. This is the thing. Most people call it the zone. Okay, you're in the zone. Okay, you can call the zone somebody who's like and I'm not very religious, not religious whatsoever, pretty much. But someone who's religious, I was at one time. Someone who's religious says, "Oh, I got the Holy Ghost," or "I got the Holy Spirit," or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, they're feeling this energetic feeling within them."
Yeah.
They're in connection with spirit. Okay, someone's playing basketball or a football game, and they just can't be beat. Exactly. That's that connection. That's what we're talking about. That's
Flow
the
state.
connection. Exactly. So what I found physically, as you were saying, where's the connection? Where is their connection? If I'm talking on a physical point, coming from a physical aspect of it, where is that connection? And this is my own interpretation, what I've studied and what I've learned, in exercise science, exercise physiology, and so forth, is that it's this fascia. Okay, and this fascia connects everything in your whole body. I got fascia in my skin, on my muscles, and my bones. So if I took every bit of the fascia, ripped it out of your body, and put it right next to you, I'd have another you, but it'd be clear.
Yeah, right below the skin.
Exactly. It's right in. It's actually in the skin. It connects the tissues of the skin, and below the skin, down into the muscles, fat, everything is connected by fascia. Okay. So if I got injured, if you think about this, if I put my shirt here, it's going to affect here. So to me, my own understanding, I haven't heard any books or I don't feel that there's anything new out in the sun. So this may be out there or something. But that fascia is the connection between the physical and the spiritual. That's where, when you get into meditation, you get the feeling tinglies, and you get the, feeling light, feeling airy, all these different feelings that people say they have, or even people say they've gone to another realm. They die and they come back. There's this connection in the physical aspect when the spirit leaves the body, and when it comes back, there has to be some type of transport.
I totally agree, because when you get like, I don't like to call it goosebumps, but I like to call it spirit bumps, when you get the antennas, the hair on your arm and the hair on your head starts to rise up, and you start like feeling the spirit go through you. It's like you feel it. Well, I feel it personally in that fascia, the superficial area, like right below the skin, connecting everything. But I also feel it in the bones too. I feel it big in the bones, and that's part of Native American cultures, that we believe the bones are the channels for the spirit, and the area right below the skin totally ties into everything. Like the bones connect and the muscles connect everything. So when you're merging physical and spiritual strength, it's like getting you to another level, because you can only get so strong physically without hitting a blockage. And you say you get into a fight protecting yourself, protecting someone else, or you're just in the wrong place, wrong time. The person with the right balance of spiritual and physical strength is going to win no matter what, because it's like that, the difference between, let's say, jaguar and maybe a snake. Like, I'd say 9 times out of 10 the jaguar will win, because the jaguar has more spiritual ferocity. Like, the jaguar might be just as strong as, say, like a king cobra, or one of the more venomous or constricting snakes, they might be on the same level physically, but spiritually that jaguar has more girth to it, more ferocity to it, and I see that in people all the time. Like, there's people that are little 5 foot twigs with no muscle that can still beat the crap out of a 7 foot dude with jacked down like this.
There's nothing. That's the thing about it. You get into a point now to where, even in the spirituality and the physical, in spirituality there is no dichotomy. There is no left to right, up and down. There is no, you know, devil, God, you know, stuff like that. There's none of that in the spirituality. Physical, you get that. You have an economy, okay? And it's exactly when you're in your spiritual sense, when you're feeling that, you're going to have these times where you're, oh, I feel really good, and just nothing can beat me, and I'm just living in the world, and so forth, you know? And then all of a sudden you come back to the physical, and then you get back to the physical, and then there's your left, right. There's something wrong. You know, there's good, there's bad.
Yeah.
Okay? Again, there's that meshing. I'm telling you, there's a meshing for me. I'm learning that in my life, when I'm learning, there's a meshing where it's individualistic. It's for each and every, that's the each and every individual has their own. So if it's a battle, if I'm a MMA fighter, okay, and I want to be the best MMA fighter in the world, okay, yeah, I can get physically tough and all this other kind of stuff and really go. But if I'm not connected, and it's my own belief, if I'm not connected to whatever I believe in, you know, whatever that is, if I'm not connected, so I'm not going to go far. I'm literally guided. I'm guided. And then as you get guided, to me, the defeat comes is when you, as the physical, feel that you are and the only power.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when defeat comes. When you're able, I feel when you're able to keep that connection, you allow it, that energy to progress you forward, there is never any defeat. Even if you get defeated, which is called, you know, you look at it on the dualistic side, you look at defeat, but there is none. Once you're guided, even if there's a so-called defeat, there's a reason that defeat came in order to move you around something, you know. And that something could be anything. It could be, you know, like kind of a, like most people say in sports, oh, it's all set up, it's all rigged, you know, someone has this. Spirit can work through any of that. Yeah. It can work its way around, it can place you in a different, when you're following that pace and you know you're in that. But then when you take over, when I get into that spiritual realm, I'm feeling all great and all this other kind of stuff. And when I literally switch the switch and go like, oh man, this feels good. I am totally in control. You know, I am the God. You know, and you take that you are the only, because I think we're all gods.
Oh yeah.
And goddesses, or whatever you want to call them. We're all that.
I'm definitely on that wavelength.
But when you get to that point and you feel that power and you enjoy that power, and then all of a sudden there's a little switch that comes on and it brings you right back into that physical.
Yeah.
And the pain comes on and everything else, and you wonder what's happening. It's because you've taken over. It's like you think that, but once you can lay down and you can let them merge, you let the physical and that spirit, let it merge, you're right in the middle. And like I said, to me, it's the posture. When I completely let go, things get tense in life, it gets stressful, I just sit back. Everybody says breathe, take a breath, you know, look at nature. And that's one thing you said also, that is the connection.
Yeah.
Being spiritual and the physical, it's nature.
I would say, like, something that really stuck with me, what you were just saying, is in order to be the best in whatever type of strength you're talking about, whether it be strength in your communications, strength in your physical aspects, strength in your fighting abilities, the best, what you're saying, the best has that merge. Like, you look at, say, Muhammad Ali, Conor McGregor, you look at the greatest Kung Fu and Goju Ryu senseis, they're not just solely physically good. They're not just, say, oh, a really good boxer or really strong or really fast. It's not just that. Like, you hear Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That's all precision. Conor McGregor, his big quote is, precision can beat strength and precision can beat speed. So
Mm.
that's all with guidance. Like the greatest martial artists are strong in their intuition, strong in their spirit, as well as their physical training. So if they're in a fight, they can sense a fist coming at them and they can dodge it and sense what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with the great Olympians. Any type of spiritual and physical merge, like just in the recent Olympics, it was quite funny watching Michael Phelps as he was just in that zone when he just had that tiger or shark face when the I forget his name, the Brazilian dude, he's doing the shadow boxing in front of him and he's totally distracted. And then, just like you were saying, Phelps got into that zone of physical and spiritual merging and he's just goes straight and beats him. And the thing was that the dude that was shadow boxing and doing all this cocky stuff, he beat Phelps one before. He looked to see where Phelps was at, and that could have actually lost him the race because his spirit was distracted and his spiritual strength wasn't matching up with his physical ability. So it's like sometimes you, as spiritual people, we float into outer space and then we start feeling, oh, I haven't been paying attention to my body, I haven't been eating right or working out or whatever. So like it also goes hand in hand with like being able to ascend to new levels but also keep that groundedness and keep steady with Mother Earth and not say, alright, see you later, I'm gonna go meditate and astral travel all the time and be like Buddha and be kind of physically weak. So that really, when you talk about being the best, whatever it is, you have to be spiritual and physically tied into that best. Like even the best in the mind, the best people in the mind. Look at, some of my idols like Tesla, Einstein, Martin Luther King Jr., they have the merging and they're on quote in books talking about spirituality along with their scientific and their communication skills. It's not like, if you actually look at Tesla's writings or Einstein's writings, when they ask like, how do you come up with this? How are you so smart? This, that, and other thing. They're usually saying the same thing. I've been doing my work, but I pulled that from above.
Came from somebody else.
Came from spirit or came from download or something like that. And that's like mind, body, spirit, all physicality and spirituality merging.
And that's one thing you said, and just triggered me right now, is that, like you say, Einstein and so forth, we look at the people who are very intellectual, okay? And I look at myself as a very intellectual person. And I look at, like Einstein, one of my idols also. Same guys you talked about, same. The thing is that me, as being very physical, always been very physical, and I started off on the very physical side. You know, I started off that way, not much on doing the spiritual aspect. You know, I studied religion and all this other kind of stuff, started going on, but I felt that. But those people who are really in their mind, set in their minds, I think there's no difference. It is the same thing. It's the point of how close are they to their spirit, how connected are they to spirit, because you have people who don't eat. You got breatharians. You have people who can stop their heart. You know, it's been proven, it's been shown, you know, physically shown. Man goes out and shuts his heart off and brings it back up. That's being connected. So I don't look at spirituality or being very spiritual having anything to do with the physical. It has to be what you're comfortable with. Because I can't see somebody, you know, because I really used to think this, that these people are really overweight and they don't care anymore and all this other kind of stuff, have given up. And a lot of them have. But there is the same thing happening with someone who's overweight, who can be very spiritual, to someone who's very strong and athletic and everything, who's very spiritual. There is a connection that's going on with both of them that keeps them running. I trained a guy who and the reason I'm saying that is because I met a guy who went against the whole quota of what happens when you stay overweight for a long period of time, because you don't see, believe me, you do not see many people who are 80, 90 years old that are fat. You're not going to see many. Okay, you just don't. The body's not able to hold that weight for that long period of time.
Yeah.
The heart can't take that. And I trained a guy who was close to 80, and he was way overweight, and he told me his age. He looked young, and he told me his weight, his age, and I was like, it just, light went off. I go like, okay, and then I started questioning him, like, okay, what is it? His spiritual connection.
Yeah.
It was a spiritual connection, period. He came in to train because in his heart, from what he hear from the outer world, said that you need to get, you're gonna die. And the doctor's telling you your heart's up here and blood pressure's up there and all this other kind of stuff. But he was still living. So that kind of changed my thinking. I'm like, okay, well, I have not seen that, but it was put into my life.
Yeah.
I had to train the guy, and he was a good, hard worker. He did those things, but he was flat out. He was eating, but he was a very spiritual man. And to me, I go like, okay, now I'm getting it. So it's I don't give it. Your physical appearance has nothing to do with your spiritual enlightenment. So I look at it as, to me, what I was taught and what was ingrained in this cranium here, and what was etched into my little CD, was that this is my temple. I'm in here for a limited amount of time. The spirit's going to live in here for a limited amount of time. So I want to keep my temple as long as I can.
That's one of the things I'm not the biggest fan of Christianity. I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in the spirit we all share. But that's the one thing that stuck out to me, is your body is your temple, because it's a vessel. And this tattoo I got here, the only reason I got this tattoo here was because Spirit gave me a message through a dream, and I said, before I got it, I said to myself, if I had a beautiful temple that I was building, would I put this on it? And I said yes. It would look cool on a temple, so it would look good on me and it would feel good. And the other thing that stuck out to what you're talking about is the spirit keeps you going. Like the spiritual strength is what can get you to the next level, so to say, get you to stay motivated, stay inspired, stay fiery, like the sun, just be like, keep going. Like everyone has a sun inside them. And so to me, that's the difference between people that you see. Some people, they're such good shape, they're built up, they're stronger looking than I am, and then like you see by the time they're 50, 60, they're like, they're fat, and you're like, how did that happen?
Exactly.
Like you look at pictures before and after, like how the in God's name did you go from that at 20 to this at 50? And that's because the spiritual strength wasn't there, because
it was broken.
Yeah.
I think everybody's born. I think every single human being is born a spirit, very positive, strong, and life starts to just break that down slowly until you're connected within to you, and it's an individual job. Until you start to connect yourself within, that's the only way you can build your spirit. I really feel that once you're born, you come out, you hit this word right here, it's automatically, it's how can we break this spirit? How can we keep breaking your spirit so they can't get in touch with that freedom?
Yeah.
And that's my own personal understanding of how energy works, or society works, or
and
whatever.
it ties in too, because your spiritual strength will keep you physically strong.
Exactly.
Depending on how balanced you are, obviously. But like, say for example, someone tries to break your spirit, and say, I'm a pretty sensitive person, but my spirit is strong. So like, someone could say something and it could affect me. And now in the 22nd year of my life, people say stuff and it doesn't really affect me anymore negatively. But
exactly.
Your spiritual strength keeps you from getting in a rut. So like, someone says, you're bleep, 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 and you're worth nothing. And then if you're spiritually strong, you can say, I'm going to keep doing whatever I'm doing because I'm fearless and I'm strong in that aspect. And then you keep working out and keep doing this. But say someone who isn't so spiritually strong, you could say same thing, bleep bleep, we're nothing, and then they say, even if they were physically strong, they say, oh no, and then they get in a rut for a couple weeks, and then their physical strength starts deteriorating, and then so really just merging is like the big process of, it's like almost like becoming a god or a goddess, because you're starting to connect both worlds. Like you're starting to connect your temple is starting to reflect your spirit, basically.
Yeah. You become one with yourself. You become one with all things, because the spirit, it is freedom. It's not something that's, to me, it's not something that you try to obtain. It's something that you already have. But you, like you're saying, you want to merge. You want to re-merge. You want to merge back, because everybody, we all, like for me, I'm telling you, I'm 55 years old, and it's like when you say, like, it's like now I'm going back. I'm back to where I started. I'm living in Hawaii, and this is what I love. This is what I love when I was a kid, doing all this, and here I am back again at 50, and give me another 50 years, where I'm going to be there. The more, and I feel this, the more I keep connecting with my spirit, keep going there, no matter what, the better things get, the longer I'm here. I could walk out and get hit by a truck. Everybody always says that. But if I keep on saying that, I'm going to walk out and get hit by a truck. But if I keep on saying that, I can live long. I'm young. I keep on saying those things, repeating those to myself, repeating that, because that's what it's all, end point. Yeah. Physically, it's all about repetition.
That was a big thing for me, and this could be a whole nother video, so I won't go too deep into it, but that was a big thing for me in regards to manifesting things. Manifesting things in my life was, I always felt the power inside me. I always felt the spirit inside me from when I was 3 years old to how old I am now. I always felt that I was kind of up there in spiritual power, but then I'm like, sitting a couple of years ago, I'm like, why is this not manifesting? Like, why is like my dreams not manifesting? It's because I wasn't grounded. It's because my spiritual strength was there, and I was like, right on. Like, I feel this. Like, I could really feel this strength, goosebumps whenever I get in touch with nature. And then, but the physical strength wasn't there, and the manifesting wasn't there. But then, when I started doing tree meditations and rooting myself into the earth and becoming one with the earth and becoming respectful to the earth and loving to the earth and understanding that I am here and this is my big spaceship rock flying through outer space at millions of miles an hour for this lifetime, so I'm going to stay grounded. And once I started connecting all that spiritual power, all that connection to source, to the different suns and the galaxies and star systems, then I started just seeing the groundedness just manifest everything. It's like you ask for something, and it's like you might not get it tomorrow, but you might get it next week, and you're gonna get it. It's like, be careful what you wish for, sort of thing. Like, once you get that grounding with the connection to source, you better be ready to get exactly what you want out of life, because it really is like, it's a game. It's like just God just playing like a little game with himself.
Think about it. You can ask. We
herself
can
also.
One thing in your mind. You can ask yourself one question. You ask yourself this one question, and you've had spiritual moments, and a lot more happening now. Okay, all you ever have to do is, every time that I felt spiritual or I felt uplifted, anytime I was in that space, was I ever not focused? Were you ever not focused?
Anytime I feel that, I get it a lot when I'm talking to somebody, and I'm getting it right now, and I'll get it in different situations, even with random people, mostly teachers and friends and family. But when spirit wants me to focus, everything around the person I'm talking to gets blurry. And it's like, it's interesting because it's not a focus where you're like, wavering or whatnot. It's when your spiritual and physical focus is onto something, or onto information, or onto wisdom, it really just lasers in, and it really shows you the connection with everything, because you'll be watching a movie, or you'll be listening to your grandparents speak about something, and all of a sudden you'll just get those spirit bumps. You get those hairs raising up on your arm or head.
Antennas, and you said the right thing. Antennas. It's exactly what they are. Why does an animal hair raise up on its back when it's into a
Sensation.
Sensation. You get the same thing, you know. And when you feel spirit or spirits, you know, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, around you, people don't know it or are not attuned to that.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel it, well, the same thing happens. There's an antenna going out. There's something in, like right now. So there's something in the area, and I know before you say, oh, I got goosebumps. No, there's something around that is connected.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they are. You can see them right there. Their antennas opening up to the energy that's around you.
Yeah, and so when you're physically and spiritually attuned to that, that's when you could say something to somebody or like present something to somebody, or especially with music. Music can do it a lot. Is when you channel your spirit through music. Like I was at this concert, Ron Artis the second, and the truth, Ron Artis, it's not Ron Artis, but him and also another local Hawaiian musician, they were just playing through spirit, and like I was listening to their CD I bought. I'm like, this is not as good as them. It's like, don't get me wrong, the CD is good too, but I'm like, they were playing through spirit, and it's just you get those spirit bumps at certain points when someone's singing or dancing or doing music or just expression. It's that merge.
Exactly. You see that you go to a ballet or something. You're sitting there and they're doing this movement just effortlessly, and what's happening is that they're flowing with spirit. You're feeling it, so you're actually in movement with them, and that again, total connection, and that's what grips people. That's what binds us. You know, that's what binds us. And just think about living that way. You know, that's my dream. Those are, you know, we all have dreams. I have big dreams, stuff like that. But my biggest dream is what when Einstein quotes, I want to know the thoughts of God. You know, that's being in your zone.
Yeah.
That's being a vessel, being able to download information that needs to get out or that has to get out and stuff like that. You know, that to me, that is the total connect. That's being in spirit.
I think more often than not, people are thinking the thoughts of God way more than we ever expect.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there are gods and goddesses here on this planet because the great spirit that we all share, that's everywhere, it's not outside of ourselves, it's the central sun, the central solar energy connecting us all. You're thinking with them. You're thinking together, and you can feel when it's aligned. When you're thinking, oh, this person sucks, like they like did this to me, then it's like